All right, guys, quick impromptu video here. I really wasn't planning on coming back here to make a video tonight, but I'm looking at Terence Crawford's Twitter page, and apparently he's gone on a rant on three different fighters here. His arch nemesis and Errol Spence Jr. He has some choice words for Jerron Boots Ennis, and also Teofimo Lopez. Now, I'm assuming the Teofimo Lopez stuff is stemming from something I saw. I didn't get to watch the video. It came across my feed where it says something about Teofimo Lopez saying that Terence Crawford was overrated. So I'm assuming that's what he's tweeting about with Teofimo Lopez. So I'm going to read some of these tweets. I'm not going to read them all, but just give you guys a taste of what Terence Crawford's talking about here. Now, you guys know Terence Crawford is a very competitive individual, and it's apparent to me. He wasn't much of a talker, but ever since he conquered Errol Spence Jr. and became the undisputed champion in a second weight class, he's been a lot more vocal because he feels vindicated. And I can understand that because for years people said Terence Crawford didn't fight anyone. People said that Terence Crawford couldn't beat Errol Spence Jr. And he dusted Errol Spence Jr. in such a dramatic fashion, and he made it look easy. And now a lot of people had to eat crow. So I can understand where he's coming from. As the guy who's seen as the #1 pound for pound fighter on the planet. So let's go over some of these tweets here. Let me see. Where should we start? Let's start. He tweeted this one. I guess this was yesterday. He says, hate it or love it, I'm just that guy. Anytime a fighter opens their mouth, my name is in it. So what does that tell you? Hashtag Terence Crawford era. So I don't know if that was stemming from Teofimo Lopez or, somebody else said something to him. I don't really know, but we're going to keep reading these tweets, guys. He says, I wish I could fight more than one time a year, but these guys been running and hiding for years. Boxing's nothing like it used to be when everyone fought each other. So a legitimate gripe there. A lot of guys ducked Terence Crawford. They didn't want the smoke. A lot of these guys don't want to fight 2-3 times a year. They want to fight once a year. And they don't want to fight the top competition. That's, he's basically telling it like it is in that tweet. Here he says, I live in the gym, but my whole career these fighters been running behind people saying I'm on the wrong side of the street. Call this guy, call that guy, make it make sense. So I'm sure he's referring to fighters on the PBC, talking about Call Al, and, none of those guys wanting smoke with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford was calling out a lot of those guys when they were champions. Keith one-time Thurman, as an example. Keith didn't want any smoke. I think he called out Danny Garcia before. Danny Garcia opting not to fight Terence Crawford. He even tried to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That didn't happen. So go figure, guys. So here he says, I fought everyone and everybody that was put on my table. Never turned down a fight in my life, even if it was late notice, moving up in weight. Short fighters, tall fighters, strong fighters, fast fighters, boxers, brawlers, etc. I fought them all. So he's letting you guys know he hasn't ducked any smoke. Terence Crawford, he took the hard road. He took the hard road, and he wants to be, he wants people to know that. He feels like he should be vindicated now because he traveled that hard road and he made it to the top, and there's people out there still not willing to give him his props, and he's speaking out for himself, and I like that coming from him. All right, so let's find some more stuff here that he was talking about these other fighters. Okay, here's one. Here's one about Errol. It says, last I can recall, we definitely get our eyes checked before every fight. I'm just saying, any boxer would know that, but casual fans will say and make up anything. So he's kind of taking a dig there at Errol Spence Jr. in the cataract talk. You guys know, a lot of people have been hopping on that and saying that's why Terence Crawford was so successful in the fight, because Errol Spence Jr. was suffering from cataract because he had that recent cataract surgery. And he talked about in a deleted Instagram post how that, pretty much affected his performance, I would say, in the fight with Terence Crawford. So he's kind of swatting back at that. He says, like I said before, now this was at Jaron Boots Ennis. He says, like I said before, at Jaron Ennis had 2 opportunities to fight me. We talking about a kid that's still fighting in the theater. Make it make sense. And that he's talking about where a lot of people are, well, I would say Terence Crawford haters are pushing him to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, thinking Jaron can beat Terence Crawford for the simple fact that Errol couldn't do it. And, they just hate Terence Crawford. So they're going to push this Jaron Boots Ennis narrative. And I talked about this before. I don't think Jaron Boots Ennis can beat Terence Crawford on Crawford's worst day. I think Jaron Boots Ennis is not seasoned enough. He hasn't fought any elite competition at welterweight. Why would you throw this guy in the ring with a guy who's the #1 pound for pound fighter on the planet? I don't understand, unless you want to derail his career. I just don't think the guy's ready yet. I think he's a good fighter. I just don't think he's on that level yet. If you think Errol Spence Jr. got dusted, I think it would be worse for Jaron Boots Ennis, in my humble opinion. Okay, so now this one here is at Teofimo Lopez. I guess they were going back and forth. I don't see all the tweets here. And he says, at Teofimo Lopez, your little B ass better worry about them little guys that's on your ass down there in your weight class. It's crazy. Every time I see you, your hoe ass, you don't even look my way. But when you're in front of a camera, you got so much to say. You're a P. So I guess that is him shooting back at Teofimo Lopez, who talked about Terence Crawford being overrated. I guess Crawford didn't appreciate that, so he fired back at Teofimo Lopez. I think they were going back and forth. Let me see if I can find any more tweets from these guys. I don't really see them all here. I don't see them all here. I think there was a number of tweets on here. Okay, so I see a little jab. Terence Crawford had posted that he was the Mr. Time undisputed, Mr. First to do it, and Teofimo Lopez took a shot saying that, and still ain't win fighter of the year, with laughing emojis. So yeah, I guess they're going at it. Wow. Terence Crawford, guys, going in on everybody on Twitter. I guess he may have been talking about Teofimo Lopez, people with his Terence Crawford's name in their mouth. And I guess he didn't like to hear the excuses from Errol Spence Jr. About the cataract surgery. And then, everybody that don't really like Terence Crawford on his head about him being afraid of Jaron Boots Ennis. We know that's not the case. They know that's not the case. They know Terence Crawford's not afraid of Jaron Boots Ennis. They just trying to push this narrative, and it isn't working. Jaron Boots Ennis needs to fight a Keith Thurman or an Ugas or someone like that before he even thinks about stepping foot in the ring with Terence Crawford. And he already was offered the fight on BOK Prime, and he didn't take the fight. You guys remember that. It seems like it's convenient amnesia that a lot of these guys forget about that. They kind of leave that out. But we'll see what happens next with Terence Crawford. I think he's in Bali right now. I think he's in Bali on vacation. So he must have had a lot of time on his hands to go in on these guys and some of these fans here on Twitter. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Terence Crawford, what he had to say about Errol, Teofimo Lopez, Jaron Boots Ennis. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.